for tuning into another video. And of course, to my right, probably your left, I have two legends of the game that are beside me in this episode. And we'll be talking about the game that took place yesterday. Of course, I saw a lot of positives from the game. We had a miss-up, I would call it. But definitely want to hear from these gentlemen to have their views on what really transpired in this one. So, big up, Bibi. Thanks for joining. Big up to Mr. Butler. I was going to say, but
rather I say Freddy Butler.
yeah, all right, Freddy Butler.
Right now, if you just say Mr. Butler, kind of general, and everybody kind of might be a little bit jerky. You know, so
all right.
I rather you refer to me as Freddy on the program.
All right, no problem, Freddy. Coach Freddy. All right, so tell the audience how this came about. Starting with Bibi, you gentlemen being a part of this setup. You're, as I said before, you're legends of the game. Bibi started out as a youngster, and you as a senior person, you know, probably would have had him under your wings, and especially Ian Pepeg with us, always have Bibi under his wing. We have seen that. But how did this come about, being a part of the whole national setup? Starting with Bibi.
Oh, it's the idea of the coach, you know. The coach have an idea, the coach have a plan. You have a clear way how you want to go about things. You want us to be involved as much as possible to just support the group and the team and our experience and our know-how in terms of the experience of our region, because we have had the opportunity to play in a World Cup before. We have a World Cup campaign coming up, and we just want us to be around the team. And this was ideal for him to bring us in on the Nation League semi-final.
Okay, yeah, and I think it was well for me personally. I think it is a good move, and I really welcome something like that. You know, World Cup experience, World Cup players. You have been in and out of this CONCACAF region year in, year out when you guys play, so you understand the whole thing. So,
and not only that, but we are also here to learn as well, because every day we learn.
Of course, yeah.
So being in a different environment, bouncing different ideas of each other, seeing different things, the game has evolved, and we are learning on the way also.
Yeah. All right. I think that is a very important point that you touched, because learning never stops, really. You know, never stops. Exactly. So that is a good point. What's your take, Coach Freddy? Make sure emphasize that.
Yeah, but like Bibi said, it's the idea. It was the idea of the coach, because I think the coach, it's something that's never been done before. Even the time when we play, where past players have never been involved in any sort of campaign or any sort of national setup. So I think the coach is very smart that he looked around in terms of the past players who are available to him, and I guess he probably put his fingers at myself and Bibi, because we played in the national team at very young age and played professionally. So he chose us. I know that there's a lot more players out there he could have chosen, but he has his reason why he chose us to come in and be a part of this. It's an honor to be here, because we have a lot to offer to some of these younger players. Like you said, Dixon just came into the fold. We have a lot that we can offer to these players with our experience from playing in some of these games. It's a brilliant idea, and hopefully we'll be able to help the unit as we move forward.
All right. I know that you gentlemen are coaches yourself. What would you have seen in the setup that you basically added to that you thought that the coach really ran with? Is there anything specific that you saw and you pointed out and the coach actually utilizing it in any way, shape or form?
Mentorship so far. For example, a day like today, we had a few players who was going to training. So the idea of the coach was one of us should go to the training and one should stay back with the players who are back in the hotel and we have conversations with them. So the coach is trying to utilize us as much as possible for mentorship. And, today was a prime example of that, where both of us weren't in the same place. One is on the training ground and one is in the hotel with the next set of players. I think that was a very smart.
Right, so you could get basically on and off the pitch type of experience. So one giving pitch experience, one giving off the pitch. Yeah, that's a very good one. But Bibi, in terms of you doing so well at the position, you basically come kick with Messam foot. Messam or it was Messam, right?
I know, so I don't kick off foot. I just had competitiveness, you know what I mean? Because we can't take away what Messam has done, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really pushing each other and making the environment as competitive as possible.
Is that a political answer?
No, man.
Okay.
I really answer, man.
Okay.
Because when you want to create something good, you want to create a very competitive environment.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
So basically, no one not really comfortable in there.
Yeah, we really push each other on a daily basis. So it's more than that than anything else. You know what I mean?
All right. So with the position that you're playing, you played before. How have you helped like greatly over on that side? And we know that young Lemby Keezer can swing on both sides. Have you given any advice to them in terms of their game? And you see where it has, bear fruit or come to fruition on the pitch, basically.
No, not as yet. I'm just observing.
Okay.
Observing everything. I think they're both talented players. We had a very solid game yesterday, both of them, on both flanks. They contributed a whole lot to the game yesterday, especially tactically. They went out there and executed exactly what the coach wanted to get done against a very strong United States team. So it's more just observing at the moment, and I'm sure when it's time to add to that, then I will try and give them my idea of because I did function in that place.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Freddie? Before Freddie answer, people big up on yourself. Thanks for tuning in. We have a small audience. So we're getting questions coming from persons that are sitting around. Just if they have questions to ask. Go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah, I was a part of the Gold Cup unit, so I'm more closer to the team than Bibi is. So that's probably the reason why he's saying that he's doing a little bit more observation. So in terms of for yesterday, for example, like the low, we asked him to do a job outside of his familiar position. So, I had opportunity to talk to him even at halftime to remind him about score of the game, time of the game, affects the game, stuff like that. So in terms of the midfield, I was able to speak to him and Casey a little bit more. Because we asked Lowe to play in a more advanced position, and then things like reminding him that if we're winning, you may have to play a little closer to KC now, things like that. So I was able to impart some of my knowledge from playing midfield with both of them as we go in the game.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned something interesting there. So it wasn't a case where Damon was supposed to sit in front of the back four.
No, not for most part. If you realize that a lot of times when we play that ball long, he will go into an advanced position, because not having Shamar and Antonio, so he was the man that.
He was the point man.
Yeah, so I know. If you weren't a part of the tactical meetings, you wouldn't understand why he would do that. And if you look at a lot of the throw-ins, he would be the guy who would go down.
So that was the pattern of play that you want. And it basically, sorry to cut you, but it basically bore fruit in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, it bear fruit.
So,
but you know, it's an unfamiliar role for him. So if you realize that he was working a little hard, so he got tired. And even again to my conversation with him also is that, you know, you have to be careful if we're not winning it. Just make sure that you drop a little quicker, you know, because it's an unfamiliar role, and he was asked to play a role that is unfamiliar. Yeah, he did brilliant. He did great. So, you know, it's just that it was a tired role because we didn't have the guys that could do the flick on and the flick down, and which the next best guy in an advanced position was him.
I believe that the tactics were spot on.
It's just the brutality of football that, you know, football, the gods weren't on our side last night. That the last kick of the ball, that's where we lost the game. You know, and these things happen. Football can be a very cruel sport. You know, even though tactically, I think that we got it right. You know, I know most people would think that why we didn't want to play a little bit much more, but the team wasn't set up for that. Even though would have wanted them to be a little bit patient and stroke the ball around. The team wasn't really
set up for that, right? Based on is it based on the personnel that you had?
Personnel, and also the team were playing against.
Right. So Bibi, in terms of the defensive setup, I saw discipline, I saw composure, calmness, and all of that, and everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. What's your take on the whole defensive setup? How the team held their shape and so forth. Give us your take on that.
I think it was pretty solid. The setup was based off our America play. So we set everything up around that, and I think the players that we selected carried out the job down to the T and to the wire. As Freddy said earlier, it's just how the game goes sometimes. I don't think it's only the football gods, but I don't think the referee was on our side either.
Certainly.
Especially towards the end. I'm finding any excuse, but I don't think it was 5 minutes stoppage time in the game. I think we should play, the most we should play is 3 minutes, but 5 minutes was what he gave, and we still go over 5 minutes. So, but it's football, but overall I think the defensive setup, they didn't see our goal enough. Blake didn't have too much to do. So that goes on to show you was solid. The players was in front of him and the shift that they put in, individually and collectively as a group. And it's a formation that I think we can go into and get stronger with, because that's a formation that took us into the World Cup. It's preparation for games to come, and I'm sure the coach will always set up against the opponent, the opponent that he's up against. So it's not like this is all we will play. Right. You know what I mean? It's just based from the opponent that we are up against, and it's a good way to go.
All right. I see a question coming there, Cranky, but it goes to show that the fans need to just basically, you can't really tame fans really, you know, and because sometimes they don't understand the intricacies of how a team is set up based off the opponent that you have in front of you. So like Bibi said, the team was set up based off US, what US had to offer at the time, and that formation was beautifully set up to really counter them. They didn't get a lot. They were keeping the ball, and I said to Cranky when I was watching the game that, hey, let them keep the ball. Once they're not doing anything, no attacking threat. Right.
They're not penetrating.
Exactly.
So that was a setup for them to just move the ball from side to side, and once they're not playing shows, we are doing the job.
Exactly, because the lateral movements can take place, but once they're not, through pass over the top to get us out.
As long as they weren't breaking our lines.
Exactly.
And we had a perfect counter attack. Unfortunate by CFAS. If it was a bit unfortunate. If we had gotten that counter attack right, it would have been a different outcome.
Certainly.
But I think in terms of our setup, the way we approach the game tactically, it was spot on. And only issue I see with it now that we should just look to see what can we do to better the performance from last night. And if we can improve on what the players did last night, we should be okay.
All right, I still come into your question, Cranky, but this just came. I spoke to the statistician, the analyst, and basically what I got from him is that the team, like you gentlemen are saying, the team played spot on. The team basically across every I and that every T, but it was just the finesse up front that we weren't able to get because of the opportunities. Did you look at it the same way?
To be honest with you, and if the game was to play tomorrow again, maybe it will go in our favor.
Yeah.
And that's just football. It just didn't went our way yesterday. I think if as I said, if the game was to play tomorrow, who knows? Maybe CFAS would put away one or two of those chances that he get, but that's football. We win and we learn together. But there's a lot, as I said before, loads of positive qualities within this unit. It's a bright future for Jamaican football, and I think we are going in the right direction. And to just continue to add to what we are doing and put the puzzle together, the missing pieces. I mean, people will come, people will be out because of various reasons, injuries. Along the way, people will step in, people will get the opportunity. So it's something good. It's something good and something positive for our football and preparing ourselves for the qualification.
Definitely. And Cope, you want to add to that?
No, I was trying to echo some of what Bibi said. It's for us to take the positives out of last night and see what can we do to improve on the positives.
Certainly. Yeah, Cranky, other question.
You probably don't remember.
Let me have a question. So I'm gonna take another view, which is don't disagree with this strategy employed to enable us to compete against a team which is at full strength. We were in a full strength. And there are millions of coaches out there, Monday morning quarterback like myself, who assess the game subsequent to its completion and who watch the game during its duration. So the question is, in the midfield, when you're playing football and you dominate possession, you can rest on offense. And you can see that people like Bobby and we're very, very tired. Have we thought about how do I get more creative in the midfield so I can hold the ball long, offense, and progress the ball up the field? Because I said to someone today, my last point, which is, when Robin Morrison plays, even when he's playing scrimmage football and not playing anymore, he always seems to have time on the ball, which then create opportunities for others to move the ball up the field. So how do we ensure we have that going forward to allow us to have more possession? Because possession is important to rest and to create vulnerabilities in the opposition.
At the half, that's one of the things we spoke about at the halftime, about trying to be a little bit more patient and play a little bit more. But we wanted them to play a little bit more. But at the end of the day, again, it's their game. It's how they feel out there about playing at that moment. So we asked them to be a little bit more patient and try and keep the ball a little bit more. But at times, that early ball in behind was working. So players resort to that because at the end of the day, it's their game too. So we can always ask them and demand keeping the ball more. And again, in terms of personnel, did we have the personnel in midfield to play a little bit more? Damon Lowe is an out-and-out ball winner. So we cannot really want to demand him to drop the shoulder and knock it and go back for it. So, we still have to look at that, So we didn't have the personnel inside there who can put it down and play and switch the point of attack. You know, we expect that KC could probably do a lot more of that. So I think we defensive line, we resorting to look to play that ball in, you know, to use our strength, which is our speed, to get back in. And again, that's something we'll have to work on. That's what we talk about. See at what point in the game that we can possess the ball a little bit more to take that risk.
Here's another question. Go ahead, Bibi.
Just to add to that as well, I think that will come. That will come with games also. Getting used to playing in these competitions, getting a little bit more comfortable, to be a little bit more braver in different situations and different occasions. But little by little, I think it's coming together. And as I said, when the puzzle and everything really pull together, everything will make more sense. You know what I mean? Some game you'll be working on how you want to set up. You know what I mean? Another game you'll be working on how you want to keep the ball, how you want to break forward, how quick you want to reset. You know what I mean? But I think everything will pull together at the right time. It's just a part of the process, and we just have to be a little bit more patient and believe. You know what I mean? Because I think it's work in progress. Every time that the group come together, you are seeing improvement. So I think it's something that is coming together.
So just rehearsal for the World Cup qualifications and the World Cup. So you know, with these Nations League game, the Copa, you know, it's good moments and good timing. Work on the things that we can get better at. So by the time we get to that point, we should be a better team, which, you know, we're in that direction.
Just to echo what Bibi said, a lot of people don't know that. And you see, when you're outside, I understand a little about coaching. I don't understand everything, right? But there are different moments of the game that you don't want to work on as a coach. And as Bibi said, it takes games to do that. When you want to look at as he said, the breakaway, you want to work on a defensive shape, or you transition in the middle of the park with numbers, or isolating your wingers or so forth. So these things take games, and every time you play a game, it's probably a different opponent. And you want to set up to suit what they bring to you, so that you can oppose it or whatever. So I agree with him totally, with you, Bibi, that it's gonna take games to really get the mill going, get the wheels turning and all of that, to ensure that we get into what, because a part of coaching is that important is that you need assimilation, and you can't assimilate everything in one game.
And that's the problem with the quarterbacks that sit in the coach, right?
Right.
They try to assimilate everything
in one game.
You know, and sometimes your preparation will function on the court. Yeah, because there's a lot of games that played within the game. Like we say, so the preparation sometimes has to be different than
And just add to that, we have a group that want to learn, you know, and want to improve, and gelling well together and enjoying the environment every time they come around. So that is very good, and that is what coach always wants, you know, to have players in those frame of mind. So yeah, we are in a good place, and it's just add to what is happening.
That sounds good. Go ahead, Franklin.
So yesterday we tried to mix up the defense a little bit by also pressing. But to me, the press was not effective as it could have been because it wasn't a cohesive press. And press would have been very much more effective because I thought it was interesting, which is when you press, you're either all going to press and you got to figure out where in the field you start your press. Now, Matt Turner, I need to say this on the stream, was awful to me. Awful with his feet, frankly. And I felt that if we got the ball back to him as much as possible, he would make a mistake and we would score a goal. So do we have enough time to really coordinate the press to get turnovers? Because international windows are so short, it's hard to do everything as you're saying.
You know, and answer that one, dude.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
Also, you know, we talk about the press. It's something that we worked on a little bit in training. But when you think about players arriving Monday, players arriving Tuesday, so pretty much we only had one pretty much solid training session was on Wednesday. You know, because players were still missing on those days on Tuesday. So a lot of stuff was done in the classroom on the big screen, the computer, you know, and then we still have to take our hats off to the players. You know, so it's not like we had 3 training sessions.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So even though with the press, there you know, there's so much information we can also give these players. We still don't want to cross the lines either.
Overload.
Yeah.
I mean, to add to what Freddy is saying, if you look at it, when last we used this formation, you know what I mean?
Years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly, and for the players to not spend a lot of time together and then come in on an international
Hats off to the
executive
players.
and
Hats
came in
off.
and did what they did.
Yeah.
Hats off to them and hats off to the coaching staff as well, because they were very detailed in how they want to approach the game. And I think that the one day that we had to execute it in training, they did pretty well, and the players was very receptive and applied themselves the way that they should. So hats off to everything.
And it does go back to the same point that you mentioned, games. And every coach that does international coaching, they are tend to be at a disadvantage because they don't have a lot of time with the players. While a club coach, every single day, in and out, every day, you might have 2 sessions per day, or probably you might extend it to 3, which is enabling you now to get into some details that an international coach can approach, because the session, as I said, players come in at different times, which will not, information probably have to regurgitate or redone because of you say it already and you have to do it again because everybody's there.
Move on
Exactly.
to the next phase.
So, and this is where games come in. The more games you play now will enable the unit to understand the philosophy that you guys want to bring to them, and the execution will go to the T. As you said, this one just go out there, plan it, and for them to do it so well, that goes to show that the players were even hungry as well. So the innate ability to want to get this into this final was also there. So I like that.
And for what you say, the great thing about the next few months, then for the Copa we'll have the players for a month.
That's like a bit different.
So we should have time.
But what I thought was interesting was the throwing, which led to the first goal, was something I saw in training when
That
I came
was
there
off the
Wednesday.
training ground.
Right?
Yeah,
So that
was
worked
off-
brilliantly well. We talked about set pieces.
Yeah, that was off the training ground.
If you reflect on the game, what was the most pleasing thing and what was the most disappointing? Forget about the score, the ultimate outcome, into the disappointment, right? Because disappointment is that we lost, even though we played brilliantly. So what was the most pleasing thing? Think about how we train, how you practice, players and everything. What was the most pleasing thing? And then what was most disappointing? Not necessarily about the outcome.
The most pleasing thing for me is that we stick to the game plan. Tactically, we for most part, we're on spot on point. So that was very pleasing, the time that we had for preparation. In terms of the things that I'm not pleased about was our possession side of the game. You know, we're up, and even the second half, we could have tried to take the sting out of the game in terms of possession. So anything, other than the score, that's the thing I would say I'm not pleased with. We could have spent a little bit more time with the ball and trying to keep.
Well, maybe if you got younger and played in the midfield, we'll have that.
So maybe we can tell you this pleasing.
Yeah, man, the most pleasing thing is the execution of the game, to be honest. As Freddy said, we stuck to the game plan. They executed it well. I know that you said the disappointing thing, but other from the result, but it's just the result for me, to be honest. You know what I mean? And I think maybe we could reset a little bit more at times, you know what I mean? But the execution of the game was really spot on in terms of how we trained and how they went out there and executed it.
Do you think so it's the first game I've seen us play the US where they had limited chances to score. It's not the norm. I normally get a lot of chances. We play Mexico and US, a lot of chances, and they may miss a lot of chances. And we walk away feeling good, but you walk away saying, they could have scored 5 or 6. It wasn't the case. As you say, Blake didn't have a lot to do, as in the Canada game, right? Which is really interesting. So the question for you is, did that focus on defense also affected us going forward? Do you think we got the balance right? That's the question.
Yeah.
Even though we should have probably won the game.
The balance, defensively, the team was set up
Yeah.
defensively. Yeah. So did it affect the balance of us going forward? I think in some moments in the game we could have done a little better going forward. Playing around the corner for that diagonal run for pace. I think we could have done a little bit more. Maybe because I'm an offensive-minded player. But I think we could have done more in terms of that. But the way we set the team up, I can't say it affects us going forward a little bit more because tactically that's the way we wanted to play. So, and we didn't have much time to give much information as to how we'll press forward. So it would be a difficult answer. I don't know if Bibi can find a better answer.
Oh man, you said it perfectly.
Okay.
It is one of the games that we would have lost. And watching the space, the social media space, I have seen varied comments. But to me, I think the fan base is more so pleased with how the team played than the actual loss in that semi-final.
Yeah.
And that is a positive for me.
Yeah, because I think they play their heart out. You know what I mean? The attitude and to work non-stop. They did a lot of running yesterday. A lot of running.
I think
attitude of the group.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things. One is, I'll say this, there was some drama going into the game. The expectation wasn't as high because we had half our players, number starters missing. And I think people were sort of shocked about the performance and how much we limited the US because they got frustrated and they were out of ideas going forward.
And that was on to show you that football is a team sport.
Yeah.
And the commitment of the players.
Yeah. And they showed that for most of 90 minutes yesterday.
I want to comment, and you gentlemen can comment also, especially starting with Bibi, because you're even though you're offensive minded, everything started at the defense. I really admire the growth of one Michael Hector. I think he has come far away. He has gotten a lot of fluff from the fan base, and for him to come back in the team now and he's doing so well is like it's like basically but the fan base that's right now, you can't make a team without Hector. Bibi, what are your thoughts on his performance? Because I think he's a man of the match performance, you know.
And to add to that, you know, he not played 90 minutes in our while. Yeah. And for him to come and give such a performance, you have to applaud that 100%. He came in, his awareness, his balance that he brought to the team, his leadership. He had a lot of experience, to be honest, and he showed that yesterday because he hasn't played 90 minutes in a while. But yet still, he came out and gives a performance for more than 90 minutes. You know what I mean? I mean, towards the end, you realize that tired legs, tired minds, but these things do happen. You know what I mean? But he hasn't played a game. He's coming back from injury, so hats off to him, man. Hats off to him, and being against the odds. This is a part of it. You know what I mean? This is a part of the process. Everything is not gonna go smooth. You know what I mean? Everyone in the room is not gonna be singing the same song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yet still, at the end of the day, you believe in who is around and you believe in what you have to go there and do. So you go out there and get the job done on the day. And Hector did that perfectly yesterday. So congratulations to him, and I'm sure he will be wanting to doing the same thing on Sunday.
Yeah, man, definitely. Your take on it, Freddy? Or is there another player that we don't really like to single out player? Yeah, but
I think they are the Latin
yeah.
pretty steady. Low played with a lot of emotion on his sleeve. You can see him out there working and overworking and tirelessly working. Sometimes when it was unnecessary for him to work because he just wanted
to be there. Yeah, for real.
That shift so,
and even the players that came into the pitch as well.
Yeah, for real.
The young Dixon was that desire.
You saw the hunger.
Yeah.
And the desire to, you know.
All the players.
And this
even Poor himself to
coming back from that injury,
running socks off, it's just unfortunate. I know a lot of people might be hard on him right now, but
I think
he came on and he run himself into the ground for the team.
I think Bobby played a master class with that desire and that grit to perform for the country. Lambakisa on the right, all these boys were.
I think he had the captain USA man,
because
Pulisic under man, so to speak.
In the second half, most of the time they're trying to come down on our right side right here. The boys, as tired as he may be, Butler, you know. So it was a master class from the way we set the team up and how we wanted to approach the game. So it was kind of, they were all man of the match, you know.
Yeah, man, I think it was a gutsy performance, and it goes to show that with desire in the team, then definitely this unit, like you guys said earlier, can really go the whole year and deal with the World Cup qualification, deal with the Copa, and I am suspecting that going forward, we're gonna see increments of improvement, step by step, as the team move towards qualification.
I will guarantee that. I did mention earlier about person out of the team that would probably help to go the team. So it can only get better.
And nothing that we do, is smooth, So there will be times when we'll be off, but at the end of the day, it's a part of the process.
Yeah.
And we just have to trust the process because we play the game and we know we have those experiences as well. You know what I mean? If you look back on when we started.
Come in, Bobby.
When
Leave nothing, you know. Come on the camera, because we just talk about
Yeah, man.
about
People say we have Bobby Reed here.
So we have Bobby, we just mentioned Bobby with his master class performance yesterday. So Bobby Reed, can I say hi to you?
Bobby was like the only shot on the right side of the field.
Man, it was good. I think everyone was together and you see unity. Everyone worked as a unit and it felt good out there. Obviously, with more time playing that formation will be more useful. It's good for the future. Let's work on it and just trust the process.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man, and we look forward to more of these performances from Bobby Reid. Trust me. It was a mature performance from Bobby Reid, and I really respect that, and the fans are loving it. And basically, like what these coaches are saying is that we're gonna get better as it goes further. So we're looking forward to that. So big up yourself, man. Alright, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, man, but as me I say, sometime and every time it a go be
done.
Some days I go off sometime, but a work in progress. You get me I say? It's a work in process and progress and nothing is smooth. If you watch the greatest teams, sometimes you watch some game and they're off. If you watch Pep, sometimes he's off. If you watch Klopp, sometimes they're off. If you watch Argentina, sometimes they're off. But most part, it's work in progress, and I think the coaching staff and the players are working their socks off to get it right. They are very well receptive to everything that the coach and the staff is trying to bring on board on and off the field. So, as I say, I'm very happy. I'm very happy with what we are seeing so far.
Okay.
It's a great look. It's a bright look for our football.
Yeah, man. I know. Probably you guys were so much into the game, but did you feel the support of the fan base in the stadium, or you were so caught up in what was happening on the pitch that you didn't lend your ear to what was happening around?
I was in the moment of the game. Usually, even as a player, we don't hear the noise. I couldn't tell you anything about that.
All right, we can tell him. Trust me. We basically have the US fan base where I have to speak where we were sitting. I mean, tell us that them surround me and them quiet.
It did make noise when they scored.
When they scored, that's the only time throughout the game.
Yeah.
It was just I'd call it an epic experience to see that the crowd, the fan base, the Jamaican support was there, and trust me, we silenced them for quite a while. You understand? So I just want you gentlemen to know that the fans out there support, and with fan base. With fan base, exactly, but with fan base, you know, so you gotta have some riveting critique where we can't escape. Exactly, so.
Yeah, but just like I come with the territory, but just like you say, you know, some of them don't really they have facility, they go on day to day.
Exactly.
You know, and so I go on, so they will say whatever they want to say. Oh, I know what some of the people they want to say on the life.
Alright, I could hear what they want to say. If I was the coach, Bobby would have dropped way down in the why the people are not easy, you know. They said they would rather keep Bobby on the field. We were outnumbered. This look like somebody who did that game too. Devon Porter said, trust the process, we will get there and become a force to reckon with. I agree with that. Big up lots. First, you got a big up Latibo there for that excellent game. I want to big up Lati because we gave him a lot of flak, but this time he played out of his skin. Good game, Lati. See, people must say a whole lot of things. How was the Jamaican support? I'm just telling you that the effort is what counts. So the fans like the effort from the players. And that is good. In our real life, if we did have Gray and the rest of the guys, US dead last night, what do you think? Would it be the same setup?
Yeah, man, but they would have more going forward.
Okay.
We'll be more of a trend going forward, without a doubt.
Yeah. Alright. I mean, like put people on the spot, but I know so this is one of the controversial topic where gone to Talk Sports, Sky Sports, Fabrizio Romano, everywhere there. The Leon Bailey saga. Any comment on it?
No comment from you, still no comment. No comment from me. I mean, at the end of the day, it's
Most of our comments, you broke the rules, brother.
Anyways, make him talk, and then you
No,
talk
we are
here.
saying,
Okay.
You understand?
no, in terms of that, yeah, in terms of that, definitely. If it was me and I'm break the rule, I expect to be punished. Them thing that happen in our time. People break the rule, people get punished, and we have to get on with it. No one is bigger than the team. There is no I in team. And I have to just get on with it. That's football.
But Bibi,
more and as a professional, you have to just operate accordingly. Not saying that we don't do certain things. You understand what I'm saying?
But you want to tell Bibi and the people about there because you play ball at England, see?
Yeah.
And you play for the national team. You got a World Cup. You do all of that. Was there any situation at Bolton Wanderers where you had that sort of situation where if you do anything, you get consequences of a follow, where you get fined or whatever?
Yeah, man, a football lot, man. Yeah, someone. Yeah.
It's not strange. It's not strange there.
It's not strange.
People don't hear that.
Training, man.
You get
My
fined.
locker room, man. We have a thing where you used to go on in my locker room. Yeah? We said 9 for 10.
Yeah.
You reach in the locker room 9 to start at 10. Yeah. We have a big clock in the locker room. Man, they watch all the clock and so crank reach in.
Yeah.
And 1 minute to 9, they say, man, I'm bossy. Because we know if you ever come in there so 1 minute past 9, you get fined. You understand? And it was a thing for every morning. Even the, man start reaching from 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But we used to look forward to that and you say, yeah, wow, 10 to 9, I'm in reach ahead. You understand? So you get fined. Even just walk through that door there, 1 minute after 9 o'clock, training start 10.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's nothing strange.
Nothing strange.
Yeah, man, as me I said, that come with football. You know, I mean, there are rules, just in any job. There's rules and there's regulations and there's things that come with it. You know what I mean? And if this is the decision, this is the decision, and it goes to everyone within the room. You know what I mean? No one is bigger than what would be given.
For real.
You know what I mean? Yep. So if the coach come on him say, this is not Freddy or this is not Bibi.
That does work with it.
Yeah. Players play, coaches coach, managers manage, spectators spectate. Supporters support.
And coach.
One question now. Is playing for the national team a job or an honor? Both of you gentlemen would have been there before.
It's an honor, man.
So it's not a job?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, it's a job because we are working for the people and to see.
It's a job.
Okay, both. Okay.
Yeah, man, it's a bit, but it's more of a honor, to know.
Yeah, to wear a national shirt and to hear anthem up your playing.
Yeah, especially if you're already a pro and you're playing and you're earning. Yeah, you understand. So you're telling me, say, with a player like Messi, what is it for him? Is it an honor or a job to play for and represent Argentina?
I kind of would have put it for an honor, but hearing what Bibi said, both, you have to look, we have to work. So, I kind of change my stance based on that now because, it's basically a work. But you know why I kind of have a little pushback where work is concerned? Because work might take a more hours than where you just come and do an international and you have a big break in between or a lull as you call it, and then you come back again. And is that sustainable for you
to say work?
To say work.
What are we working for?
To go to the
That
work.
is a different conversation.
Different
if we
conversation.
Call it work. What are we working for?
Yeah.
Work.
Work away, no matter. Okay. Work away.
So here's the question: does it ever become a burden to be a national team? What do I mean by that? Meaning, you got to fly all the way from the UK or when Lo was in Egypt to come here, long journey, you're tired, hard season, and then you come. You may not play as you'd like to play, and you know we can be brutal as fans in our criticism. Does it become a little bit daunting and a little bit challenging and say, you know what, do I really want to go through this?
Well, cranky. Everybody have to deal with that. The man will play in a Romania and play for Argentina and Bolivia. Then he have to go back over this.
Colombia.
And the man will play for Colombia and play in Qatar. He have to go back over this. He have to dread the travel and he have to dread the criticism.
Yeah.
So we all have to deal with it, man.
Does the national colours become a burden after a while?
We're not saying it's not
Right.
an easy job, you know, and it's not a burden either. You know what I mean? But we as an organisation, we have to try and protect as much as possible. So if we are travel for long distances, for example, when we play a city, we have to make sure say we know the amount of loads we put in on them, because they might just play a game over the weekend and they might be a little bit sluggish, so you're not going to bring them in and push them straight away and send them back to the club injury. So preparation is key, and that is a part of the preparation also. So we have to do as much as we can on our side to make sure that everything works, because at the end of the day we need the players. Yeah. So, but as I say, it's work.
Yeah. I tend to sway a little bit in terms of the definition. It can't be too strident or tough or hard, like, you know. So me understand it from that perspective, but you kind of still have a little. But anyways, any more questions, Kirk?
Well, both Freddy and Bibi played for the national team. Was it ever work for you when you were playing? Because I know when in your days, everybody aspired to play for the national team. It was like the Holy Grail, even though being in that setup may not necessarily be perfect, right? How was it for you then versus now? You think things have changed over time?
Yeah, man, a lot of things change. But for we, it was a joy, right, so far. We enjoy it, you know.
Because Bibi was 17 when he went to the national team, you know? Baby.
Yeah, I was 17 too.
You were 17? You look older to me then.
No, I was in 1985.
We enjoy church
Yeah,
every
man, we
moment.
enjoy church every moment.
Enjoy church every moment. You know?
Yeah, we enjoy it.
It was everything wasn't perfect, but
We
we
made the best.
enjoy it, man. I'll make up feet, you know what I mean?
We'll create a brotherhood.
Create a family out of it, you know what I mean?
Because linking still go on with everybody.
Non-stop.
Might probably not link a man for y'all 2 years, but when you just link up and see
If
it.
you ever go to Lam,
If-
you know.
Yeah,
if
a problem.
Man, call you and cuss you. Yeah, man, all the man, if I a week pass, I'm in a year. Me make sure try call him first.
Yeah, I make
If
him know
ever
that.
call first, appear cuss.
Yeah. So keep
man,
basically,
sure.
the brotherhood and the family, the setting. Look out for each other.
Brother life.
Yeah, for real.
3-4 days in a year, man. You try call him first. Cuss him.
God blessing whenever we come around for camps, you know what I mean? Always a joy and a blessing.
Run and you qualm
Non-stop
man and
laugh.
you trouble man
Non-stop
and yeah, for real.
Something we look forward to.
Yeah, I was saying to someone today that the misconception people have is when I say I represent Jamaica, they probably think it's the land and the water and the infrastructure. Jamaica is actually the people.
People,
It's about the people. So if I say Jamaica can't do anything for me, I realize that the people give you so much joy, right? And you're giving them joy by your performance. So it's about the people.
Represent the
I think we got to be
people.
clear on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Represent
So the game coming up on Sunday, touch quickly, we understand a little thing, but we want to get up there. We hear a little thing.
Yeah.
Look like
Yeah.
enough of that, isn't it?
And that I want-
Yeah.
We had to do a sneak thing, so
we want to cut it quick. But
Yeah.
before we jump off, people have to understand we are borrowed time, we are imposed, but we have to show respect to Bibi and
Freddy.
for allowing us to do this. You understand? But when you look with the inclusion of a Gray, Nicholson back in the setup, what's the expectation on that in terms of firepower going into a game against people and call Panama a bogey team for West
Well, we'll discuss that tonight. So we have a coaching staff.
Mhm.
If you want, then we'll discuss all
Okay.
the coaching. So we're not to do with it.
No, okay.
So maybe if you call me tomorrow, I can tell you something.
For real.
I have a coaches meeting a few and then we'll
Yeah.
probably discuss it.
Okay. Alright, that's one, but anything that I probably didn't touch on that you gentlemen would want to share. Just share something with the fan base.
Man, trust the process, man. It's going to get better. Go and coach from the sideline, see how we can. We can't stop that. Just trust the process. You know, the coach is very detailed and very good at what he's doing. I think, you know, it will get better. You know, just a little bit of patience. You know, just a dress rehearsal right now with these games. Even though we have love and want to win the games, just trust the process. And, you know, we'll enjoy it together as we move forward.
Yeah. I know say we only love support when we win. But support straight through, man. You see me? Support straight through and don't support from home. Come out when you can come out. You know what I mean? Because
We full up at the stadium
because
at
the
Jamaica, man.
Players them are gonna need no support. We are gonna need no support as always. You know what I mean? So come out and support, man. Trust the process. Just like how if we admire the leagues all over the world and we see week in, week out, we lose our draw.
Yeah, I'm a
Cheer
support.
them full up.
Yeah, man, that's
You know what I
very
mean? So make we try and see if we can change those habits.
Why know you're talking?
You know what I mean? So come out and support the team.
Hey,
Yeah,
a
man.
big thought that you know, baby, because
Yeah,
we stayed for the Mexico Panama game. And you know, when I see in a stadium the support from the Mexicans versus when we were there, the spaces that were empty in the stadium. When the Mexicans never rolling, you know. The stadium rampacking on them and the Mexican wave go all one 4 times without stopping up. So that is so true, baby, and people no come out, come support
Come out,
the team.
man. Come
Whichever
out and
way.
support the
Some man who can't come every game, they can't do like the clip boss, but ensures that at least one or 2 games if you can come. And if you can come all of them,
Yeah, if you win, we come every game.
same thing.
Yeah,
Same
man.
thing. For real.
Support
So
the
just
team.
come support the team.
Yeah, man. So big up yourself, baby. Respect
Yeah,
and
man.
manner. Big up Freddy.
Yeah, man.
Cranky, big up yourself, same way around the sun.
What's up?
And
Thanks,
yeah,
thanks,
man.
thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, for real. So people, we have to go because as on the year say, we don't like breach rules and regulations. You know, you see me I say, but we have to run. You understand? Big up on yourself. Stay safe. Look more. We still are come on for the triple treat, the first night. That show they are supposed to be hosted by me and Cranky. So look more. We have to talk more about the game and give a honest review on what it happened. Basically, I don't know nothing different still because we don't know where we're going. It was a very good performer, but we still have to talk about it. You understand? Big up on yourself. Stay safe. Until next time. Peace out.